I ran my chair over my headphones, so that's cool. Give me a moment. Cool. Cool. Cool means. You see me in this infinite azure, and you know me. What's up, Kuma? How you feeling, Kuma? I'm doing pretty good. I'm home. I'm off work. I don't have to work anymore. I'm gonna chill for a minute. I don't know what I'm gonna stream, but I'm gonna stream it, and then after that, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna be asleep for a minute and have good dreams because I'm gonna be asleep and not at work. I'm really excited about my new printers. I'm really excited about my new printer. Um, yeah, that's my share. Someone very handsome. Anyway, I'm really excited to um successfully print stuff with my printer. My first print failed, but my first print on my Ender 3 also failed. So 8 hours, bro. 8 hours. I was like, huh? Yeah. It's not gonna be as sturdy as if I printed it with my Ender 3, but it doesn't need to be because it's gonna be part of something that hangs on the wall. So it's a novelty item. You could put it on your face if you want to for guests, like, haha, cool, so funny, ha. but it hangs on the wall. That's how it's supposed to work. I'm gonna have to rearrange my room to accommodate new furniture to adequately set up this printer in here. Also, what was the deal with the first print? I think I improperly leveled the bed. That's what I'm leaning towards. So the other cool thing about resin printers is that they're crazy easy to get good prints with. So if you messed up really bad somehow. But at some point, I'm gonna get that thing cleaned up, probably this weekend, and get it set up and give it another shot. I can't be in here while it's running, but yeah. So that's that. Hopefully, I can figure out how to finesse selling designs or prints or my services as a printer. Those three things are now three things that I can pretty effectively do, I think. So that's cool. I ripped my shirt at work today. That kind of sucks. I didn't really care about the shirt because it was a band I wasn't really into, but the shirt was a gift after my house burned down, so. I'm really stoked to make like custom like guitar pedals and like synths and stuff. I feel like that's gonna be really fun and really interesting. Maybe not synths, but like controllers. Print out custom like knobs and stuff. That'll be fun. New Packwatch. Yeah, I can super customize stuff. I can customize stuff for other people if they want custom stuff. Whoops. Let's first move this. Hang on. Move the microphone cable out of my way. Put it back up on the boom so it's not like touching the dust or anything. Okay. Alright, cool. We're not hitting the desk. It's not what we're going to do. I'm going to keep the sound very nice. Okay. The ASMR Packwatch. This is going to be an ASMR episode of Packwatch. Just kidding. But anyway, R. Kelly will be going to jail for les football numbers. R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering. Here's what that means. He was convicted of both racketeering and sex trafficking. For those who don't know, R. Kelly was convicted of all charges. Can't believe they actually convicted him. I can believe they can convict him. He was so, I mean, he was so flagrant with it. He had already gotten charged with it and beaten that case in the most fucking insane possible manner. So it was a matter of when, not if, he was going to get caught with how he was moving and how he continued to move to this day. He had a whole documentary written about him. Racketeering just means you committed 3 felonies at the same time. Yeah. I figured I'd read this just so anyone who isn't up to speed. Anyway, all right. This was posted 4 hours and 8 minutes ago, so this is fairly recent. Jurors have found R&B singer R. Kelly guilty of racketeering, including acts of bribery and sexual exploitation of a child, along with separate charges of sex trafficking. Yikes. Racketeering became a federal crime in 1970 under the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act, and the charge is best known as a tool to prosecute organized crime that affects interstate commerce. At the center of any racketeering case is the enterprise, the group entity carrying out the illegal conduct, such as the mafia. In this case, the enterprise is Kelly and his entourage, as well as his managers, bodyguards, drivers, personal assistants, and runners. According to the superseding indictment, Kelly is described as the leader of the enterprise. They RICO'd him. Wow. They fucking RICO'd him. That's crazy. That's another reason why I was surprised. I wasn't surprised they convicted him, because the feds, they have like a 98%, some crazy like that, conviction rate. Like when they decide to pick you up, it's because they have a fucking open and shut case on you, basically. Like they're about to slam dunk you. Like the amount of times that people beat federal cases is so insanely, exceedingly, like extraordinarily rare that it's remarkable. Murder Inc. Shuts out of Murder Inc. They beat the feds. That shit was crazy. But anyway. The purposes of the enterprise were to promote R. Kelly's music and the R. Kelly brand, to recruit women. Oh my goodness. Forgot to mute that tab. Hang on, sorry. Sorry. The purposes of the enterprise were to promote R. Kelly's music and the R. Kelly brand, to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with Kelly, and to produce pornography, including child pornography, the indictment states. That's pretty gross. Like, really gross, actually. Kelly's defense attorney has criticized this aspect of the case against his clients. We look forward to the truth and the facts coming to light, as the defense will continue to vigorously defend Mr. Kelly, defense attorney Thomas Farinella said in a statement to CNN before the trial. After all, the RICO enterprise is based on a series of independent relationships and events that the government is trying to patch together like different types of fabrics and trying to pass it off as silk. Kelly was charged with racketeering that has 14 underlying acts. 1 act of bribery, 3 acts of sexual exploitation of a child, 1 act of kidnapping, 3 acts of forced labor, and 6 acts of violating the Mann Act. The alleged crimes stretch from 1994 up to December 2018 and are based on indictments involving 6 anonymous Jane Does, several of whom were underage. Gross. To convict him of racketeering, thanks for the host. To convict him of racketeering, prosecutors, wait a minute. To convict him of racketeering, prosecutors have to prove that Kelly committed at least 2 of these 14 underlying acts. Jurors found prosecutors had proven all but 2 of the 14 of them. Yikes. He's getting clapped. He's going to jail. He's going to die in jail. He is getting rolled up and smoked. Let's twist one up. Twist a fatty of the Pied Piper of R&B, R. Kelly, fucking scumbag. We will see you on the other side, friend. CNN legal analyst Ely Honig said it allowed them to charge a broader pattern of conduct that stretches over years and involves many participants. In addition, a racketeering case combines multiple victims' stories into one trial, which can create a Me Too-like dynamic. The trials of Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, though not racketeering, showed that having more witnesses testify about a pattern of alleged sexual misconduct can have a powerful impact on a jury. Moira Penza, a former federal prosecutor who led the racketeering case against the cult-like group NXIVM, said the racketeering charge makes this, or Nexium, sorry. So the racketeering charge makes this trial very different from Kelly's previous one. I forgot that was supposed to be Nexium. What's up, Algal? Nexium is such a fucking what a fucking how pretentious. Anyway, having the RICO charge in particular allows prosecutors to really give this aerial view over a long period of time at a very high level of who R. Kelly and his enterprise are and the types of crimes that they've been committing and the ways in which they've committed those crimes. That's a very different case, Penza said. You have a lot more evidence that is going to come in and be able to corroborate what the victims are saying. Worst predator she's ever pursued. Yikes. Well, I don't think I'll be reading that. Anyway. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. I guess this is related. So I guess Activision Blizzard settled with the Federal Employment Agency for $18 million. And this has been updated, I guess, from the original time. That documentary about him was horrific. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I still haven't watched it. I don't know if I'm even set for that. The school cop in Long Beach that fucking shot at a car full of students today. I absolutely can, because I did not know about it. Let's something else seems relevant when I search Long Beach cop, but I don't think it's I haven't Can you send me a link, Algal? And yeah, this is not $18 million. Yeah. Thank you, Algal. I appreciate you. Paywall. Okay. All right. I'm all set. All right. Um, that one. Yeah, that's the other crazy thing, Algal, is like there's like more than one. So it's like uh, okay. All right. Do you want me to do I'll do both of them. I'll do the second one first though. I'll read the first one you sent me, I'll read it second. The one you just sent me, I'll do that one first. But since this is already up, I'm gonna talk about this really quick. I'll probably just skim through this. If you don't play video games, you're not familiar with video games. Um, Shot out of the car after it was away from his body and not even on school grounds. Wild. So Activision Blizzard just put out a press release indicating that it has reached an agreement to settle the just revealed U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission lawsuit. It states, in part, under the agreement, Activision Blizzard committed to create an $18 million fund to compensate and make amends to eligible claimants. Any amounts not used for claimants will be divided between charities that advance women in the video game industry or promote awareness around harassment and gender equality issues, as well as company diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives as approved by the EEOC. The agreement is subject to court approval. The release also includes a statement from CEO Bobby Kotick. I don't know, whatever. There is no place anywhere at our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind, and I am grateful to the employees who bravely shared their experiences. Yeah, you're grateful. I'm grateful that you got harassed in my piece of shit company. I'm sorry that anyone had to experience inappropriate conduct, and I remain unwavering in my commitment to make Activision Blizzard one of the world's most inclusive, respected, and respectful workplaces. Yeah, I'm sure, buddy. Kodak is, of course, receiving effective compensation of $154 million in 2021, meaning he could easily cover the $18 million cost of the EEOC lawsuit settlement many times over. Wild. So that's cool. So there was a police-involved shooting, of course, because that's what they do. That's what the police do, is they shoot people. So one person was critically wounded in a police shooting near Millikan High School in Long Beach Monday afternoon, officials said. First responders were called around 3:20 p.m. to the scene on Spring Street between Palo Verde and Snowden Avenue, said Brian Fisk, a spokesman for the Long Beach Fire Department. Paramedics transported one shooting victim in critical condition to a local trauma center, Fisk said. You're a little ticked when you read how much Kodak makes so he could cover the whole settlement himself. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a drop in the bucket, and just for 1 year of his pay. But cell phone video shows a uniformed man opening fire on a sedan as it sped off from a parking area and nearly clipped him. Witnesses told the Long Beach Post the man who fired was a school safety officer and that someone in the car was wounded. It appears in the video that the officer had previously made contact with the vehicle's occupants, but officials have not described what led up to the shooting. Authorities were continuing to investigate and no further details were immediately available. Let's check this video out.
They ran away?
Yo, what the fuck?
Oh, that's a real gun. Holy shit. That was a real fucking... Holy shit. Oh, it was a real gun? Yeah, bro, that was real.
Yeah, girl, let it out.
Yo, what the fuck? He just started popping at the car as they pulled off? That's crazy as hell. I will never understand that. I really will truly never understand that. Yeah. That's wow. Just wow. So many officer involved shootings or when cars are driving away. Yeah, there was a excuse me. Was it Elizabeth City in North Carolina? They shot that dude that was driving away in the head. There's another one, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was right. Okay. They do what they want, probably won't even lose his job. Yeah, I mean, probably not. That's the crazy thing. School shooting, hide behind a transformer. People probably smoking weed in the parking lot, and you walk up to them and they drive away. Instantly dome piece. He didn't drive near them at all. He was driving away. Yeah, that's the other inexcusable thing. I feel like in this instance, he probably will get some repercussions because it was on video, and that's literally the only reason why. Is because you can clearly see on the video that the people in the car were driving away from him, that he didn't need to shoot. They were away from his body. He was shooting them as they were driving away from him. Is the only thing that I can think. And sorry, that was probably a pretty graphic clip to watch, clip to show, but whatevs. I have a mature content warning on my stream, so. But yeah, there's another video of other students in another car in the line of fire. Sheesh. Yeah, I think that officer is probably. I think he's going to jail. It might not be for forever. It might only be like 20 years or some petty shit like what Derek Chauvin got. But I think that officer's probably going to jail. That's the other angle. Word. Nothing graphic. Word.
Oh shit, he has his gun. No! Get down! No!
Oh, yo, what? I'm gonna play that again.
They're in the car. They're blocking them. Oh shit, he has his gun. No! Get down! No!
I will be so scared, yo. I will be so scared. I will be instantly pissing and shitting and pissing some shit and shitting some piss at the same time. He pulls his gun before the car is even moving. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna. I don't know. I kind of feel like that dude's gonna get teabagged in court. Something is telling me the social climate, along with the fact that there's two different camera angles, and just like with how the only police officer within the Breonna Taylor shooting, the only police officer that got anything negative that happened to him was the dude that shot at that could have hit people. Qualified immunity will protect him? Nah, I don't know. He might lose his job at the very least. That's what happened to that dude in the Breonna Taylor case. He lost his job not because he killed Breonna Taylor, but because he was not precise enough with his shots and could have shot the neighbors. That's why he got fired. So I'm thinking in this instance, because there's that video of him, I think he'll lose his job. He shot into another apartment. Yes, exactly. Yep, that's why he lost his job. I think that at the very least, that dude will lose his job. He might get jail time. Who knows? I think at the very least, that dude's going to lose his job. Thanks for the like, OCat Gaming. Here's some yo. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness. Brian Laundrie's parents called police to report Dog the Bounty Hunter on their property. Dog the Bounty Hunter at the house. Yeah. What is this guy doing, dude? What is he doing? He just wants to be famous again. Look at these people. Everybody's look at this. Are you serious? It'd be so wild to be. I mean, now it wouldn't. Now, I'd knock Dog the Bounty Hunter the fuck out, dude. Holy shit. I would smoke Dog the Bounty Hunter's shit in Grand Theft Auto. Maybe Dog the Bounty Hunter of like when he first came out in like the 2000s. Is he strapped? You think he's strapped? It would. You just mean it would be surreal? Oh yeah, it would just be surreal. Fact. Just see this guy in front of you.
You ready? Can you tell us why you're here, sir?
Well, really? Now, come on. You know, okay? Aloha, guys. Thank you.
Do you have any tips?
I said aloha.
833 Tell Dog. We're getting tips every 10 minutes.
Are you going to be staying in Northport, sir?
I can't tell you all that, but God bless you guys. Aloha. See you soon, I'm sure.
You're not here for publicity, though, are you?
I'm on every night.
You said you're not here for publicity, though, are you? Clapped him. Clapped him. Get dealt with. What a fucking bozo. Dog, Carrot Top, and Vinnie Paul together at a casino? That sounds wild. Bruh, how would this... I don't think this is real. There's no way this is real. I'm gonna read it because it's funny. There's no way this is actually real, though. So, a self-proclaimed shaman is accused of starting California's fire. Such she was trying to boil bear urine. Damn, she started the fawn fire trying to boil bear piss. She was just Bear Grylls it out there and was like, damn, I'm thirsty. And that bear piss looks tasty. I'm going to boil it and then drink it. the crazy thing is that she was like, oh my goodness. The wood she wanted to use to start the fire was too wet to start the fire. So that should tell you that there's probably water nearby. You don't have to drink bear piss. But, yeah. The firefighters requested she empty her pockets and fanny pack, to which she presented CO2 canisters, a lighter, a green leafy substance she admitted to smoking that day, California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection Officer Matt Alexander said. She has shaman on her LinkedIn, and the fact that I just read that sentence out loud did something to my soul that I can't describe adequately with words. The fact that I'm reading a Yahoo News article about a white woman, Karen Shaman, who has shaman listed on her LinkedIn, who potentially started the fawn fire because she was trying to boil bear piss to drink it out in the wild, is I'm different somehow. I don't know exactly what way that is, but I am forever changed with this knowledge in a way that I cannot go back from. Every word in that sentence just got more and more wild. Yeah. Yeah. And it could have gone our whole lives without that story, but here we are, facts. And in a glorious case of things working themselves out, dozens of Massachusetts state police have resigned over a vaccine mandate. The Union reports, apparently. Governor Charlie Baker's executive order issued last month. Thanks, Platinum. Under Governor Charlie Baker's executive order issued last month, all executive department employees are required to show proof of vaccination on or before October 17th, or they will be fired. So they all quit. That's lit. You gotta love it. Uh-oh. We got some more Matt Gaetz heat. Speaking of Packwatch. While the federal sex crimes investigation into Representative Matt Gaetz has not fueled the kinds of explosive headlines it generated when the news first broke in late March, the case shows no signs of a slowdown. In fact, legal experts told the Daily Beast the perceived lull is nothing outside the norm and can be chalked up to a number of factors, including a wide range of charges that investigators could be exploring. Yikes. Although Gaetz and his allies like to interpret the lack of charges as an indication of innocence, the delays could just as easily suggest that the charges that could be coming down the pike are extremely grave and complex. That is a big yikes-a-reno. And if you're looking for an indication of just how seriously Gaetz himself is taking the prospect of charges, Look no further than the high-powered team of attorneys the beleaguered Florida man has brought has brought on for his defense. That team features a trio of powerful litigators from New York City, well outside the bounds of the Middle District of Florida, where the Justice Department investigation is being handled. Gates is personally represented by Mark Mukasey, who has defended the Trump Organization in several high-profile disputes, as well as Isabel Kirshner, a partner at Clayman and Rosenberg LLP. Kirshner is a top Manhattan criminal defense attorney who also represented former New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman after multiple women accused him of physical assault, that's okay. Separately, the Gates campaign, Friends of Matt Gaetz, also looked north when in June it retained New York-based trial lawyer Mark Furnick. Furnick's client list includes child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, and convicted sex trafficker Keith Rainier, who led the Nexium cult. Yikes. While Furnick is familiar with sex crimes cases, he does not have experience with campaign finance law. I also love hearing Florida man Matt Gaetz. That's glorious. The assembled team seems to reflect the self-styled Florida man's politics, personality, and public relations strategy. On the political side, Mukasey, a former federal prosecutor himself, has gained a reputation as a go-to attorney for high-profile conservatives and MAGA World affiliates. He has represented the Trump Organization and Trump family members in a number of cases, including the ongoing criminal and civil investigations in New York. Mukasey concurrently serves as defense counsel for Ken Kurson, a friend of Jared Kushner, who received a presidential pardon from Trump, but is currently fighting state charges in New York in connection to alleged spying on his former wife. Yikes. Yeah, this guy is definitely still a member of Congress. It's pretty wild. 4 women say Matt Gaetz' wingman pressured them to have sex. That's pretty gross. There was an Amtrak train that derailed in Montana. I've been really interested in trains lately, more specifically taking the train to places. I'm thinking... Oh, I don't care about any of that. I'm wondering if there's some kind of agenda behind Fox running the story, but... Like... Because trains are like the most superior form of transportation. But anyway... an Amtrak train that derailed in rural Montana over the weekend was going just under the speed limit at about 75 miles per hour when it went off the track along a gradual curve, killing 3 people and possibly ejecting passengers, federal investigators said Monday. Investigators do not know the cause of the accident, but they are studying video from the train and another locomotive that went over the same track a little over an hour earlier, National Transportation Safety Board Vice Chairman Bruce Landsberg said. We have experts that are studying the camera footage frame by frame to make sure that we see exactly what the engineers saw or maybe didn't see, Landsberg said. The train derailed before switching the line, where one set of tracks turned into 2 on a stretch of track that had been inspected just 2 days before, he said. Wild. The westbound Empire Builder was traveling from Chicago to Seattle when it left the track Saturday afternoon near Joplin, a town of about 200. The train, carrying 141 passengers, 16 crew members, had 2 locomotives and 10 cars, 8 of which derailed, with some tipping onto their sides. Yikes. When asked about wooden ties that were seen alongside the tracks and whether there was recent maintenance on that section, Landsberg did not answer directly. That will be one of the questions that we look at, he said. Maintenance will be a really big concern for us. We don't know at this point exactly what happened, whether it was a track issue, whether it was a mechanical issue with the train. So all these things are open. He said a preliminary report on the derailment is expected within 30 days. Investigators will look at everything, including the switch, wheels, axles, and suspension systems, as well as the track geometry and condition, including any cracks, said Stephen Dittmeyer, a rail consultant and former senior official at the Federal Railroad Administration. He said a switch like the one in Joplin will be controlled by the BNSF Control Center in Fort Worth, Texas. Sometimes rail lines can become deformed by heat, creating buckles in the tracks known as sun kinks, Dittmeyer said. That was the cause of a derailment in northern Montana in August 1988 when an Empire Builder train veered off the tracks about 170 miles east in Saco, Montana. That's 274 kilometers for my non-freedom doofus friends. Trains have problems on curves a lot of times if there's slack in the chain. Temperatures were in the high 80s Saturday near Joplin, according to the National Weather Service. Russ Quimby, a former rail accident investigator I'm just going to start that whole paragraph over. Russ Quimby, a former rail accident investigator for the NTSB, said heat is the most likely explanation. He is convinced because the locomotives in front did not derail, but eight lighter coach cars behind them did. This has all the earmarks of a track buckle also, Quimby said. Sometimes a locomotive which is heavier will make it through a buckled track, but the cars following won't. You saw that in this accident, he said. A malfunction of the switch seems less likely, Quimby said, because the switch would have been inspected when the track was checked last week. Another possibility was a defect in the rail, said railroad safety expert David Clark, director of the Center for Transportation Research at the University of Tennessee. He noted that regular testing does not always catch such problems. Speed was not a likely factor because trains on that line have systems that prevent excessive speeds and collisions, which appear to have worked in this case. Clark said. Did the switch play some role? It might have been that the front of the train hit the switch and it started fishtailing, and that flipped the back part of the train, Clark said. The site of the derailment is about 150 miles, 241 kilometers, northeast of Helena, Montana, and about 30 miles, 48 kilometers from the Canadian border. The tracks cut through vast golden brown wheat fields that were recently harvested and roughly parallel to U.S. Highway 2. Alan Zaremski, director of the University of Delaware's Railway Engineering and Safety Program, said he did not want to speculate but suspected the derailment stemmed from an issue with the track, train, equipment, or both. Railways have virtually eliminated major derailments by human error after the implementation of a nationwide system called Positive Train Control, which is designed to stop trains before an accident, Zaremski said. The derailment comes as Congress works toward final passage of a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure package that includes $66 billion to improve Amtrak service. That's less than the $80 billion that President Joe Biden, who famously rode Amtrak from Delaware to Washington during his time in the Senate, originally asked for, but it would be the largest federal investment in passenger rail service since Amtrak was founded 50 years ago. That's pretty nutty. The biggest chunk of money would go towards repairs and improvements along the rail service's congested 457-mile-long Northeast Corridor, as well as intercity routes with higher commuter traffic. About $16 billion is also aimed at building out Amtrak's national service to wider America, particularly in rural regions. Amtrak CEO Bill Flynn said the company was working with the NTSB, the Federal Railroad Administration, and local law enforcement, and shared their sense of urgency to determine what happened in Montana. Landsberg said safety officials hope to complete their investigation as soon as possible so BNSF can repair the rails, which are a key line for freight traffic. He noted that trains are backed up on both sides of the crash site. That sucks. It sucks that people died, but that also sucks. We're sensitive to the fact that the railroad is a critical lifeblood and we want to get the goods and service moving, he said. I should not have started reading the comments. They're lucky it didn't crash in New York because everyone would have gotten robbed too. 19 upvotes. If Chicago, they would have been shot. Fucking hogs, dude. Let's play some Mortal Kombat. Let's blow some steam with some Mortal Kombat. I'm going to end the stream now and start up a new one. So,